Before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to reach 10K subscriber, and let's aim for 5K likes on this video. It might seem hard, but I trust you can make it happen. Now, let's begin. The series begins with a beautiful girl named Alice. We learn that she is a high school student. We see her looking for her friend, Young. When she goes up to the roof, she finds him there and notices that he is sitting alone, upset, and feeling sorry for himself. She sits next to him and asks what is wrong. He puts his head on her shoulder and tells her that his girlfriend broke up with him and got engaged to another student. While he is sad, she is secretly happy and overjoyed because she has admired him for a long time and has been waiting for the right opportunity to confess. She tries to comfort him by telling him to forget about his ex and look for another girl who truly loves him. But Young is upset because his girlfriend left him for a new student who was recently transferred and stole her heart. He asks Alice to help him with a cruel plan. "We will make this new student fall in love with you. Then you will break his heart, and I will take revenge on him. After that, my girlfriend will return to me." Alice is shocked by his words. She refuses at first, saying that it's not in her nature, but he keeps trying to convince her. Finally, she gives in and says, "Okay, fine." He hugs her and thanks her, and his mood improves. They keep joking, laughing, and spending time together. Alice is glad that she was able to cheer him up, but she doesn't know how she will actually make the new student fall in love with her. Later, she goes to her close friend and tells her everything. Her friend agrees to help and tells her that the new student's name is Drake. She describes him as a handsome young man, but strange because he always sleeps in class, yet still gets high grades. Her friend adds, "Don't be shocked he always comes out first in exams." Alice realizes that the task won't be easy because all the girls admire Drake and try to get close to him, but he ignores them. She laughs it off, but she can't stop thinking about what her friend said. Suddenly, Drake passes by, and Alice is surprised when she sees him because he is truly handsome. She keeps staring at him, trying to catch his attention, but he doesn't notice her. Frustrated, she realizes that this mission will be very difficult. She goes home feeling disappointed. Standing in front of the mirror, she practices how to act cute, trying different ways to impress him, but she quickly gets tired. We also notice that she has pictures of Drake everywhere, even on her pillow, showing how much she admires him. Suddenly, her mother enters and asks her to come downstairs to eat. Reluctantly, Alice follows her. She is surprised to see her father at home and is happy because he is usually busy with work. Her father gives her a gift and tells her to focus on her studies so she can get high scores and enter university. Alice feels nervous because she hates studying and always ranks last, but she promises him that she will try. The next day at school, Alice meets her friend. They spot Drake coming out of the cafeteria, and they decide to follow him to gather information about his likes and dislikes so she can make him fall in love with her. They secretly trail him and are surprised when he goes somewhere far away just to sleep. Alice feels frustrated and wants to give up, but then she sees another student approaching Drake. The girl gives him a rose and confesses that she wants to be with him. To everyone's shock, Drake agrees, but he acts cold and indifferent. At the same time, he laughs. He realizes that he has already broken up with her. The girl is surprised and asks him why, but he tells her, "You wanted to show off in front of your friends and stuff. I just did what you wanted." He leaves her and goes back to sleep, while the girl feels embarrassed and walks away. Alice is surprised by what she saw and realizes that he is an arrogant and conceited person who seems impossible to fall in love with. She returns to school, confused and unsure of what to do, but her friend tells her that she has an idea and asks her to do the same as the girl. Ask him to be engaged to her, and when he agrees, she will be the one to break up with him first. Alice is impressed by the idea and decides to do it. They enter the classroom. The teacher informs them of the exam results. As usual, Drake gets the highest grade and comes out first, but he doesn't care and continues sleeping in his place. As our heroine brings a sugar cookie, she feels embarrassed and remains sitting in the classroom alone. She notices that Drake is still asleep. Seizing the opportunity, she gathers her courage and goes to talk to him. But when she gets close to him, he senses her. He wakes up, his face close to hers, and they stare at each other. He asks her what she wants, but she gets nervous and tells him that she was tying her shoe. She leaves the classroom, and when she looks at her shoe, she finds it untied and feels embarrassed by the situation. However, she doesn't give up. She waits for him after school and continues walking behind him with her eyes closed. But he suddenly stops, and she bumps into him. He asks her why she is following him. Alice gathers courage and tells him that they are in a relationship now. Then she counts from 1 to 5, says they have already broken up, and runs away. Drake is surprised and doesn't understand anything. The next day, she goes to school and tells her friend what happened. She is afraid that Drake will see her and hides behind her, but her friend reassures her that he won't notice because there are too many girls around him. Indeed, he passes by her without noticing. Our heroine is overjoyed and decides to go tell Young what happened. She goes up to the roof, but finds him standing with his girlfriend. He asks her to come back to him, but she refuses. She tells him that she likes Drake and will follow him until he agrees to be engaged to her. She leaves him and walks away. Young gets upset, his heart breaks, and he cries, feeling sorry for Alice. She sympathizes with him and decides to make Drake fall in love with her so she can take revenge on him and break his heart, just as she did with her friend. When they return to the classroom, she keeps staring at him. Of course, he is asleep, not caring about the world. She tries to understand his personality more, but the teacher sees her and keeps calling her name. Our heroine is still staring, lost in thought. The teacher gets angry at her for not being able to concentrate and expels her, telling her to go to the affairs office for punishment. The students laugh at her, and she feels embarrassed. She goes to the supervisor and tries to apologize, but the supervisor decides to lock her up in the lab until the end of the day. Alice refuses at first because she is afraid, but when she finds out that Young is also locked up there, she feels happy and says, "I love punishment, especially this one." She enters the lab, excited to get close to him, but when she goes to him, she finds him sitting sadly. It is difficult for her to see him like that, so she sits beside him, trying to console him and make things easier. Young is happy that she cares about him. He gives her his watch as a gift so that she will remember him. When they finish the punishment, he takes her and leaves, but he hears his old girlfriend telling her colleagues that she is engaged to Drake and will go out with him on a date. He gets upset and loses hope that she will return. He apologizes to Alice that he will not be able to take her today, then leaves her and walks away. Our heroine is heartbroken because she loves him and doesn't want to see him hurt. She is upset and decides to take revenge on Drake and break his heart. She keeps walking behind him until he reaches his house. She notices that it is big and spacious and realizes that he comes from a wealthy family. She hides behind a tree and sees him standing with his family. Suddenly, Drake notices her, pulls her by the hand, and takes her to his family. She thinks that he is going to throw her out, but instead, he tells them that she is his girlfriend. His father is happy, saying it is his first time in a relationship, and welcomes her. However, his mother is clearly upset, and Alice gets nervous. She greets them politely and leaves. The next day, she goes to school happily. Her friend sees her and asks her why. She decides to tell her what happened yesterday. She blurts out in a loud voice that she got engaged to Drake. The students overhear her and think she is lying. They mock her. Suddenly, Drake enters the classroom. Alice fears that he will break up with her in front of everyone, just as he did with the other girl. But instead, he goes to his seat and, as usual, falls asleep. Alice is relieved and feels she still has hope for him. During break, Alice goes out with her friend, but she sees Young's girlfriend walking behind Drake. She fears that he will agree to get engaged to her because she is beautiful and all the boys want to talk to her. Alice decides to follow them. She overhears the girl confessing her feelings to him, saying she likes him and wants to go out on a date. Suddenly, Young arrives. The girl tries to get his attention, but he sees his girlfriend standing with Drake, and he begins to cry because he still loves her. "What's wrong with you, my son? Don't you have even a little dignity?" Alice feels bad as usual. She goes to the girl and tells her that she's engaged to Drake. "I wish you wouldn't run after him and embarrass yourself." The girl doesn't believe her, of course, but Drake doesn't want to embarrass Alice, so he stays silent, and this makes her happy. When the girl leaves, Alice thanks him and asks him to pretend to be her boyfriend in front of her friends only, but Drake treats her coldly, letting her know that it is impossible for him to be engaged to an ugly girl like her. He leaves her and goes back to sleep. Alice gets angry at his words and says, "By the way, I'm the prettiest girl on our street because I'm the only girl there, to be honest, so it doesn't matter." She leaves him and returns to school. She stands in front of the mirror, upset. She remembers his words and keeps crying. Her friend sees her and asks what's wrong, but Alice refuses to tell her. She walks away and enters the classroom. She is surprised to find that the teacher has given them an exam. She gets scared because she hasn't studied. She tries to solve the questions, but of course she doesn't know anything. She notices that Drake finishes first, and as usual, gets the highest score. The teacher keeps praising him in front of everyone, calling him the smartest student in the school. She feels jealous and tries to concentrate, but to no avail. as all the students finish before her. In the end, Alice sits alone, feeling like she has failed. When she goes out, embarrassed, her friend joins her and keeps making fun of her. By chance, Drake's father sees her and goes to greet her, inviting her to come and have lunch with them at home. Alice feels embarrassed, but her friend pushes her forward, and she is forced to agree. She goes to sit next to Drake, but he wears headphones and does not talk to her, and our heroine notices that he is looking at his father's reflection in the mirror. She is surprised and suspects that something is wrong between them. When they arrive home, her friend is impressed by the taste of the food. She keeps eating until she accidentally knocks over some plates and feels embarrassed. Alice says to her, "What should I tell you? Come and eat with me too." Then she asks Drake about his mother, but he refuses to answer and tells her that his father died when he was young and later remarried. Alice is affected by his words. Suddenly, her friend looks under the tables and sees something shocking, but refuses to reveal it. At the end of the day, Alice returns home, and her mother is upset because she is late. Our heroine is forced to lie, telling her that she was studying with her friend. The next day, she goes to school and tells her friend that she saw Drake holding his father's hand. Alice is surprised and remembers the moment when she saw them. She wonders if there is something going on between them and decides to find out for sure. Then, the teacher tells them that they are required to do an activity and divides the class into groups of 2. Alice is excited, but she is surprised to see Drake in her group, and she gets upset because he is arrogant. He goes to the kitchen, and they are required to make a meal. This task makes Alice happy because she is talented at cooking. She starts preparing the ingredients and succeeds in making a beautiful cake. She leaves it and goes to change her clothes, but when she returns, she notices that Drake still hasn't finished and realizes that he doesn't know how to cook. She goes to tease him, but he enjoys it and tries to take her cake. They keep tugging until it falls to the floor, and Alice gets upset, saying, "Do you think I'm a cute girl or what?" "No, my love, I'm not a biscuit." She asks him to help her so they can finish the cake as quickly as possible. She makes one with him, and they carefully follow the instructions until they make 2 cakes of the same size. When they go to hand it over to the teacher, they are scolded for being late, and some points are deducted. Alice is upset because it's Drake's fault. When they leave, she tries to blame him, but he ignores her and walks away. Our heroine is angry because he is arrogant and conceited. She decides to keep an eye on him and continues following him until he arrives home, where she is surprised to see him presenting the cake to his stepmother and hugging her. At that moment, Alice is sure that something is going on between them. She walks away quickly, shaken, and decides to go tell her friend. At that moment, she is watching a horror movie when she hears the doorbell. She thinks it's a ghost and goes to open the door, scared. But suddenly, Alice enters, laughing at herself because she is a coward. She tells her friend what she saw and knows that Drake and his stepmother are acting suspiciously. She is confused and doesn't know what to do. Her friend advises her to keep an eye on them to find evidence. The next day, in class, the teacher asks them to work in groups of 3 students for their graduation project. Alice stays with her friend, and they notice that Drake is sleeping. She takes advantage of the opportunity and decides to include him in their group. She writes his name down without asking him because he is smart and clever. During the break, her friend goes to meet Young and takes something from him. Alice sees them together. She is surprised and feels jealous because she still loves him. She waits for her friend to come back, but her friend doesn't want to tell her and goes to get a paper from the teacher. When the teacher reads it, she calls Alice and Drake, asking them to attend a meeting with the student union. Our heroine is surprised and learns that her friend did this to bring them closer together. She goes to the meeting but cannot find anyone there. Feeling bored, she decides to walk around and sees Drake sleeping. When she notices that he is in pain, she is surprised. She gets closer and sees that his temperature is high. She realizes that he might be tired and have a fever. She tries to wake him up, but he doesn't respond, so she decides to apply compresses to his face. However, he is still hot, so she removes his uniform to use it as a compress, and she feels embarrassed. Then Drake comes up and finds her asleep from exhaustion. He knows what she did and admires her kind nature. He wakes her up to thank her, but her friend interferes and ruins the moment. Alice then goes back home to continue sleeping, but her friend wakes her up and asks her to come along. She takes her, and they go to Drake's house to keep an eye on him. They tell his father that they came for the graduation project. Drake comes out of the bathroom, and as soon as he sees them, he gets upset because he cannot stand them. He takes them to his room, but refuses to talk to them and lets them do what they want. He goes to play PlayStation. Alice takes the opportunity and opens his laptop. She notices that it contains pictures of his mother who died. She realizes that he loved her and was very attached to her. It is hard for her because he clearly misses her and cannot forget her. Time gets late, and Alice keeps walking around, but she is surprised that her friend locked the door from outside to make them stay together. Drake remains asleep as usual. Alice tries to get a book to read, but she stays in a high place, and the bookcase falls on her. Drake wakes up at the sound and sees her lying on the floor in pain. He carries her, sits her on the couch, and gets closer to her. He puts ice on her head so the wound doesn't leave a scar. Alice feels embarrassed and keeps looking into his eyes, wondering why her heart is beating so fast. Suddenly, his stepmother opens the door and says, "Lunch is ready." Alice gets nervous and goes out, embarrassed. When she returns home, she remembers what he did for her. She is happy that he cares about her and begins to admire him, even though it is causing her inner turmoil. The next day, the teacher distributes the exam results to the class. Alice gets a bad grade, and the teacher announces that students who got good grades will be responsible for helping those who got low grades improve. He puts the list on hold. When our heroine sees her name paired with Drake, she is surprised and feels that fate has brought them together. She goes home and tries to study alone, so she doesn't appear foolish in front of him, but she doesn't understand anything. Her family notices her struggling and encourages her, showing how much they care. She opens a book but still finds it difficult and feels embarrassed. She wants to tell them that she is the one who failed, but she doesn't want to shock them. The next day, she goes to school and then to a restaurant with her friend. There, a beautiful fashion model she meets bullies her because she is trying to get close to Drake. He ignores the girl. Alice gets angry and decides to make her regret it by challenging her. She says Drake will attend the school party with her. The girl does not believe her, but accepts the challenge. Our heroine feels that she has put herself in trouble and doesn't know what to do. Where can she escape? She studies with Drake and takes the opportunity to ask him to come with her to the party, but of course, he refuses and leaves. She feels embarrassed because she lost the challenge. When she returns home, she finds her friend Young waiting for her. He knows that she broke up with her girlfriend and invites her to join him at his school party. Alice is happy because she has been dreaming of this for a long time. She agrees and continues to practice with him in front of the house. After that, she goes to her mother and asks her to make a dress for the party because her mother is a designer, world-class fashion. Her mother agrees and makes her a beautiful dress the next day. Alice is happy because it suits her and thanks her mother. She is excited to go to the party with Young and waits in front of the house. But unfortunately, he is late. She tries to call him, but he doesn't answer. She loses hope and decides not to go to the party. She closes the door, but suddenly, Drake arrives and offers to be her partner at the party. Alice is surprised and impressed by his handsomeness. She can't believe her eyes and feels like she's dreaming. She keeps looking at him, her eyes filled with hearts. Because of this, she stumbles and almost falls on her face, but Drake catches her in time. He takes her with him and opens the door of his car for her. On the way, Alice is surprised and asks him why he changed his mind. She remembers what Drake did. She learns that his father asked him to do this because he and Alice are engaged and his father wants them to marry. Drake doesn't want her to know the truth. He remains silent the whole way because he knows it would be difficult for her to accept. When they arrive at the party, she grabs his hand to annoy all the other girls and feels happy that she won the challenge. He asks the photographer to stand next to them to take their picture. Alice is scared and embarrassed, but Drake pulls her close, puts his hand on her shoulder, and they take pictures together as if they are a couple. Our heroine is happy and excited and can hardly contain herself. She feels overjoyed because she thinks he likes her, but she lies to herself and denies her feelings. Young arrives at the party and goes to talk to her, but she gets upset with him because he broke his promise to her. But he tells her, "Your friend asked me to do this and made me understand that she would come with you." Alice is surprised by his words and realizes that her friend did all this to get closer to Drake. She feels guilty that she wronged Young and apologizes to him. They reconcile and become close friends again. After that, she notices that 3 girls are trying to get close to Drake. She feels jealous and goes to stand with him. She tells them that she's his girlfriend, but Drake acts coldly, leaves her, and walks away. The girls make fun of her, and she feels embarrassed and goes to stand on her own. She is upset that she was rejected and forced herself on him, and Drake sees her as a traitor and feels sorry for her. He feels guilty and decides to make peace. He pulls her by the hand, and they go out on stage and start dancing. Alice is nervous because all the girls are looking at her, but Drake asks her to trust herself. He hugs her to reassure her and our heroine is happy with his concern and asks him why he invited her to dance with him, but he makes her know that she is more merciful than the rest of the girls who are stuck together. Although he responds by embarrassing the one in front of him, she honestly likes it and tells him that the tie suits him. He also tells her that the dress is beautiful. Our heroine is happy and merges with him in the dance, not noticing that the music has ended. When she realizes that they are the only ones dancing, she feels embarrassed and leaves him. She runs out and stands alone, but Young comes to her and asks her to come dance with him. Alice is happy and agrees. She remembers that he confessed his feelings to her, but he tells her that he still loves her. The girl is a model, and he wants to go back to her, but she blackmails him. Our heroine gets upset and hugs him so he doesn't see her tears. She decides to sacrifice herself and encourages him to go to her. Young is happy. He thanks her, and Drake sees them and feels jealous. He leaves the party and goes to the bathroom. He remembers what Alice said when she told him that the tug-of-war was nice. He remembers that she submitted, and he gets angry and takes it off after that. He goes outside and hears 3 girls agreeing to play a prank on her and lock her in a dark room. He is surprised. He decides to help her and sees a guy who left his disguise and puts on his mask. After that, Young goes to talk to his girlfriend. He begs her to come back to him again because he still loves her, but she refuses 1,000 times and tells him that she loves someone else. She apologizes to him and asks him to forget her. Young gets upset at her words. He knows that she loves another man. He hugs her to say goodbye, but this time, it is just for the last time. Meanwhile, Alice remains sitting alone. The girls go to her to set up a prank and let her know that someone likes her. They send her a message, and when she reads it, it tells her to meet him in the warehouse. She is surprised and thinks about it. She decides to make sure for herself by entering the warehouse, but the girls lock her up, and she finds out they deceived her. She keeps calling for anyone to help her. Then Drake hears her and enters to help her, but the worker sees the door open and closes it on them, and our heroine doesn't know who's inside. Okay? I'm talking like this. Let me know who you are. And if you're afraid, you won't remember him. A pervert. And she hits him and asks him to remove the mask from his face, but he refuses because she doesn't know who he is. He has a flashlight and turns it on to reassure her. Alice is scared to stay alone with him. She tries to break the door, but she feels frustrated. Drake asks her to give in and reassures her that it is impossible for him to get close to an ugly girl like her. She gets angry. Alice responds to his words by saying, "You don't know who I am or what. I am Drake's lover, a student in the whole school. By the way, if he knew what you did, he would bully you. By the way, he chose me because I am a beautiful and cute girl." He keeps laughing at her actions because she doesn't know who he is. He thinks she is superficial, like the other girls who try to get close to him because he is a handsome and rich guy. But she tells him, "I used to think he was arrogant and conceited, but when I got to know him, I was sure he was kind, and that Drake likes me because I am the first girl to like him for his personality." He notices that she is cold, so he takes off his jacket and covers her to warm her, and Alice thanks him, but she feels that she knows him. "I mean, the behavior in front of me is familiar. I feel like I've seen him before." She stays up all night talking to him until she falls asleep, and Drake hugs her to reassure her. The next day, the worker opens the door for them, and Drake refuses to disturb her. He leaves her sleeping and carries her on his back. He leaves the storeroom and keeps walking, and Alice wakes up. She is surprised when she sees him, not knowing that he was the one who stayed with her all night. She tells him to put her down, and she leaves him and walks away, but Drake keeps following her to reassure her until they arrive at her house and find her family waiting. They are worried about her and surprised by her appearance. They ask her what happened. Drake is afraid that they will misunderstand. He tries to leave, but his mother tells him, "Where are you going? Come on, my love. Go inside the house. We need you in this matter." Alice decides to tell them what happened and explains that the girls played a prank on her and locked her in the storeroom. Drake reassures them that he stayed with her all night to protect her, but then he lies and tells them that they are in a relationship. Her father is surprised because he thought she loved her friend Young. She feels embarrassed and apologizes to them, but her mother tells her that she is being punished and takes her cell phone. The next day, our heroine goes to school and meets her friend. She tells her what happened, but she sees Young's handsome friend with her. He tells her friend that he saw her at the party yesterday and liked her. Since then, he has been pursuing her. What should I do? She wonders. She tries to push him away and tells him to bring her bag. She takes the opportunity to escape and enters the restaurant, but he follows her and brings her the food she loves. He continues to take care of her and treats her like a princess. She is happy. Alice's girlfriend finds a guy who loves her, and she wishes that Young would fall in love with her too. Suddenly, he comes along and goes to sit next to her, but Drake sees them and feels jealous. He goes to sit next to her as well, and the two challenge each other. Each one wants the girl to go out with him. Our heroine is surprised. She can't believe that the two most handsome men in school want to be in a relationship with her. What's happening? I must be dreaming. I'll wake up in a bit, I know. When she enters the classroom, her friend asks her who she'll choose, and Alice decides to go out with her friend Young. But at that moment, Young goes to talk to Drake and asks him to stay away from Alice because she's kind. He tells him, "You're selfish and don't love anyone. All you think about is your own interests." He warns him not to get close to her, but Drake refuses and realizes that he likes her. He's going to make her love him too, so he leaves and walks away. When he goes out, he finds Alice standing in front of the school. Her friend decides to leave them together and goes. Drake knows that she is waiting for something bad and feels jealous. He tells her that she is his girlfriend and she must listen to him. He pulls her hand against her will and takes her to his home. There, his father sees them and welcomes them. He invites them to lunch and gives them similar accessories because he thinks that they are in a relationship and must wear them. But our heroine laughs awkwardly, and he feels embarrassed. He takes off the accessories, leaves them, and goes to his room. Meanwhile, the handsome young man who likes her goes and follows her. He chases her everywhere until she gets bored and asks him, "What do you want from me?" He decides to say something. He loudly tells her in front of everyone that he loves her. He asks her to agree to marry him and even threatens her. She is surprised by his boldness and feels that his feelings are sincere. She decides to give him a chance and agrees to be his girlfriend. After that, Drake talks to his father, and his father asks Alice about her grades in the exam. She feels embarrassed and says that she is smart and always comes out first, but he knows it's a lie because Drake told him he could teach her lessons. He helps her, gives her a call, and then leaves. Our heroine stays alone and wishes the ground would open up and swallow her, thus saving her from all the embarrassment. She gets fed up, leaves the house, and goes. Suddenly, Drake comes out of his room and goes to her. Alice is impressed by his handsomeness, but he keeps looking at her and then calls her stupid. He asks her to come with him so he can study with her, but she's afraid he'll make fun of her. She challenges him to get a higher score than him on the exam. She leaves him and goes back home. She stays in her room studying to prove to him that she's smart. Her mother comes in and sees her. She notices that she's started paying attention to her studies. She tells her that she's proud of her and cancels the punishment. She returns her cell phone to her. Alice is happy and hugs her. The next day, she continues studying in class, and her friend sees her. She is surprised and thinks that she's tired or something. She goes to check on her, and Alice tells her that she doesn't want to appear stupid in front of Drake. She tries to concentrate. At the end of the day, she leaves her and goes to meet Drake to help her with studying. After that, Drake finishes the class and goes to meet her and study. At that time, Young sees him and asks him to leave because this time he is the one who will study with her. But Drake refuses and makes fun of him, telling him that he is not as intelligent as him. So he leaves her with Drake. They meet in the library and sit next to each other, but Drake puts on his headphones and refuses to talk to her. Alice is surprised and asks him to study with her, but he ignores her and leaves her to go to sleep. She gets angry at his coldness and continues studying loudly to annoy him. He wakes up and tells her that he agrees to study with her, but on one condition. He asks her to hug him to make sure of her feelings towards him. Alice is surprised but remains confused and refuses, leaving him and walking away. But he doesn't give in. He follows her, holds her hand, and looks into her eyes. Our heroine feels embarrassed. She thinks they will make her taste raisins, but he bites her so that everyone knows she's his. Alice is shocked by what he did. When she returns home, she spends the whole day thinking about what happened and is surprised. She is happy that he's close to her. She doesn't know if he loves her or if he's just deceiving her. Her mother enters and tells her, "He's waiting for you downstairs." She is surprised and thinks he will confess his love to her. She goes down excitedly and hugs him. She tells him that she misses him and agrees to be engaged to him. But he laughs and asks her if she's meeting Drake because he asked her to or because she likes him. At that moment, Alice is surprised and upset that it doesn't matter to him. She lies and tells him that she and Drake are engaged. Before he leaves, she gives him back his watch because she no longer needs it. She asks him to give it to his girlfriend when he finds her. She does this because she wants to forget him. From today, she decides to consider herself her best friend only. The next day, she goes to school, but her friend sees a rooster and decides to leave them together. She walks, and Alice is embarrassed by what he did yesterday, but he pulls her hand and takes her to the cafeteria. He sits next to her and brings her food and the juice she loves. Alice is surprised that he has changed his treatment of her. She thinks this is the last semester and that she will graduate from school. She suspects that he will break up with her when she enters university, but he gets closer to her and tells her that he does not intend to do this. Alice is surprised and feels her heart pounding. When she returns home, her friend asks her to wear a dress. She asks why. Would I wear a dress? Her friend replies, "Because we are going to a rooster's?" Our heroine refuses, but her friend keeps nagging her. "We will go," she says. "We will go," until she agrees and takes her along. They go downstairs and eat with her family before they leave. Her mother asks her to visit her father next week. We know that whoever is with him at home is her mother's husband, but she loves him because he is kind, and he is the one who raised her. Alice is forced to agree and promises that she will do so. She takes her friend, and they go to Drake's. There, his father tells them that his wedding is coming up and asks them to come and celebrate with him. Of course, they agree. The designer starts taking Alice's measurements to make her a dress because it is a formal occasion and she must wear a nice dress that suits her. Drake refuses because he doesn't like parties, but Alice agrees with her friend on a plan. Her friend goes to him and pretends to bump into him. Against her will, she spills juice on his clothes, and he is forced to take off his t-shirt. The designer goes to take his measurements. Alice is happy that her plan worked and is amazed. He smiles, has muscles, and continues looking at her from a little distance. Hearts and butterflies are popping out of her eyes. Then his father asks them to stand together to take a picture. Our heroine is happy that she got close to him. The next day at school, she remembers her mother when she told her that if she succeeded, she would let her visit her brother in America. She takes a lot of books and goes to the library to study. At that time, she finds Young there and sits talking with him. He reminds her that tomorrow is her anniversary with Drake and asks her if they will go out or celebrate it. Alice gets nervous because she doesn't know that Drake would do something like this, and she thinks it's definitely impossible for him to do so in the first place. She pretends to be busy and walks around. When she gets home, she keeps thinking about what he said. She can't study because she's confused and doesn't know what to do. She decides to spend the night with her friend to focus. Her friend notices that she's lost in thought and thinking about something. She asks Alice to go out with her tomorrow, and she goes to the mall. Alice decides to agree so she can try to forget Drake. The next day, she goes with her friend, but finds Young there. She is surprised and realizes that this is her friend's plan. She leaves them together and is upset with him. She tries to walk, but Drake pulls her hand. He takes her, and they enter the mall and keep walking until her legs hurt. She sits down to rest, but Young is upset. He massages her legs to help her relax and gives her his headphones to wear. In the end, he carries her on his back and walks with her, and everyone keeps watching them because they look great together. Our heroine is happy with the attention and realizes that she no longer admires him as before, but has now fallen in love with him. Her friend Young meets her and asks her what she is doing, but Drake hugs her and tells him that they are on a date. He holds her hand and takes her. They go to the beach and sit on the shore. They watch the sunset. He tries to get close to her, and Alice gets scared and closes her eyes, but he plays a prank on her and keeps laughing. Our heroine is happy because for the first time in her life, she sees him laughing. She decides to film him with her phone. Drake asks her if she has ever loved someone before. Alice confesses to him that her friend Young was the love of her life. At that moment, Drake feels jealous. He leaves her and walks away, and our heroine gets upset. She stays alone and calls her friend to tell her what happened, but suddenly, Drake comes back. He sits next to her again and says that he doesn't care. He brings her past with him and gets closer to her, and this time he feels encouraged. He starts to eat raisins and realizes that he loves her and wants her to stay under the stars. She is happy with his words and agrees to be engaged to him. Days pass, and the two of them get closer and spend all their time together, even at school, to the point that the other girls are jealous that she is the only one who could cross their hearts. On New Year's Eve, they give each other gifts. Alice wishes she could stay with him forever. As for Drake, he visits his mother's grave, who passed away. He places flowers for her and tells her that he misses her. He tells her that he is engaged to a beautiful girl who changed his life, and he wishes she were still here so he could get to know her. The day is the anniversary of his father's wedding. Our heroine and her friend dress up in dresses and decide to attend a party. Her friend is surprised that the guy she likes is there and gets upset that he's chasing her everywhere. She leaves him and walks away, but she stumbles and her dress rips. She's embarrassed and doesn't know what to do. Her boyfriend takes off his jacket, covering the tears. He reassures her that he'll stay with her. Her friend is moved by what he did and admires it. She thanks him and goes with him to change her dress. The party begins, and she leaves with him. Alice takes a picture with Drake and feels embarrassed. Lena is prettier than her, but he gives her confidence in herself and tells her that she's beautiful and has a sweet soul. Our heroine is happy with his words. After that, his father takes a picture with his wife, and everyone is happy about their relationship, except for Drake, who is upset. At this point, we see Young running and finding his old girlfriend waiting for him. In front of the house, she apologizes to him and asks him to come back to her again, but he tells her that he gave her more than one chance, and she refused. He tells her that he can't forgive her for breaking his heart. He leaves her and walks away. His girlfriend regrets it and keeps crying. After the party, Drake goes to stand with his father's wife. She sees them together and thinks he's deceiving her. She remembers what happened between them and feels that her heart has been broken, so she leaves the party. But after that, his father's wife fights with Drake, and we find out that he was trying to cause a rift between her and his father because he doesn't want another woman to take his mother's place. He looks up at the sky and apologizes to his mother because his plan failed. He goes looking for Alice, but he doesn't find her. At that moment, our heroine returns home and keeps crying because she was deceived by him. The next day, she goes to school, sad. Her friend notices that she is distracted and goes to talk to her, asking if anything is upsetting her, but Alice refuses to tell her. She tells her to leave her alone. After that, Drake goes to her with food and asks her to go out for lunch, but she refuses and doesn't answer him. Drake is surprised and feels that she has changed towards him, but he sits next to her and keeps feeding her against her will. She thinks that Alice is deceiving her and tells him that she wants to break up with him. Drake is surprised but refuses. Of course, he tells her that she was the one who asked him to be her lover and that she must put up with him. He leaves her food and walks away. Alice is confused and doesn't know what to do. She goes to sit in the garden to change the atmosphere. Drake finds her alone and goes to sit with her. He realizes that he has broken up with his old girlfriend. She notices that he is upset and tries to comfort him by offering him her food to improve his mood, but Drake sees them together and feels jealous. He pulls her by the hand and walks away, upset that she gave him the food he brought her. Alice gets upset and tells him that Young is honest with her and says, "I know about your relationship with your stepmother." She cries because she loves him and asks him to stay away from her. Drake is surprised. He learns that she saw him standing with her and begins to apologize. He hugs her to make up with her, wipes her tears, and promises that he will change and make her forgive him. Alice decides to give him a chance. She hugs him and promises that she will also make him love her. They reconcile and get back together again. At that moment, her friend is looking for her, but the young man who likes her follows her and proposes, "My life, stay with me, my love. You have nothing to lose." But Alice feels burdened by him. After a while, she refuses, but he leaves her and goes to another girl. He offers to marry her, and of course, she agrees because he is handsome. At that moment, she says to him, "What's this speed?" She calls him and says, "Come here. I agree to get engaged." The young man is happy and leaves the girl, returning to her, giving her a gift and promising to make her happy. After that, Young goes to the restaurant but finds his old girlfriend waiting for him. She asks to talk to him and tells him that she won't give up, hoping he'll come back to her. She holds his hand and goes with him to the restaurant. At night, we see Drake studying, and suddenly, his father returns from his trip and goes to check on him. Drake is upset with him because it seems he has forgotten his mother. He leaves him and goes to sit alone in his room. His father's wife follows him and talks to him, but she gets angry and tries to stay in his mother's place. He notices that his father is standing outside and takes the opportunity to say in front of him that his wife has grabbed his hand. She is surprised. His father thinks she is cheating on him and decides to throw her out of the house, but she tells him that she is pregnant at the time. Alice notices that Drake has not come to school. She is surprised because it is not his habit, so she decides to go and check on him. When she gets home, she is surprised that he has locked himself in his room. She tries to talk to him to find out what is wrong, but he takes her and leaves the house, going to the garden. There, she realizes that he feels guilty because his father's wife is pregnant, and he doubts that the child is his. She tells him, "You dirty bastard, you're cheating on me." He tells her, "No, madam, I'm just kidding with you." He explains that he is respectful and makes her know that there is nothing between him and his father's wife. He just wanted to separate them from the beginning, nothing more. Alice understands that she was unfair to him and sleeps on his shoulder. She congratulates him on having a little brother or sister. Drake is happy that she forgave him and goes back home to sleep, but he dreams and sees his mother. She tells him that she's already dead and asks him to leave his father to live a happy life with his wife. She bids him farewell and walks away. Drake wakes up crying because he loves her and is unable to get over her death, deciding to carry out her will. He goes to talk to his father, and they learn that there is nothing between him and his wife. His father gets angry that he deceived him and tried to cause a rift between him and his wife. He decides to expel him from home and tells him that he will buy him an apartment to live in alone. When Alice arrives, she sees what happened and tries to apologize to his father and asks him to forgive Drake, but he refuses and remains adamant about his decision. He goes to his wife and apologizes for wronging her and asks why she let him down. Drake tries to get close to her, but she cries and tells him that she didn't want them to fight. She tells him that Drake feels bad for her. She asks him to forgive him because he is still young and didn't mean to. The father is affected by her words and hugs him after that. Alice goes to talk to Drake, but she finds him packing his things to leave the house. She tries to comfort him by letting him know that she loves him and is willing to do anything to make him happy. Drake takes advantage of the opportunity and goes to sleep on the bed. He says to her, "I'm telling you, you finish the rest and pack the bag." Alice gets angry because he does it like a maid is forced to listen to him. She opens his closet, but when she sees his clothes, she feels embarrassed and her face turns red. Drake laughs at her appearance. At that moment, Alice's friend is at home, and suddenly, her mother calls her loudly. She is startled and thinks about a fire, but when she goes downstairs, she finds her lover, Drake, coming to study with her, and she gets angry because he is everywhere around her. But her mother is happy that she is engaged to a handsome and smart student. She pretends to stay calm with him, and her lover keeps flirting with her. While he studies with her, Alice can't stand him. After that, Drake goes to the new apartment, where he will live alone, and Alice goes to take him there. The guard asks him to create a password for the door. Drake decides to choose the date on which they will get engaged. Alice is affected that he still remembers and is sure that he truly loves her. She promises him she will visit every day. The next day, Young goes to school to study, and as usual, his old girlfriend tries to get close to him, wanting to get things back on track. But this time, she tells him that she is traveling with her family and asks him to return and be her lover until she travels. Young doesn't want to be hurt again when she leaves, but he decides to do what she wants to make her happy and forgive her. He holds her hand and tells her that he still loves her. He reassures her that he will stay with her until she travels. After that, our heroes go shopping, and when they return to the apartment, Drake asks Alice to open the door herself. Alice tries but can't. Drake gets angry because she doesn't remember the day they met. He enters and leaves her outside until she remembers. Alice keeps trying, but because she is unsure, she doesn't know how. She decides to call her friend Young, who is dumber than her. She asks him about the date, and he actually tells her it is today. She opens the door, and when she enters, she finds Drake sleeping. She tries to talk to him, but he ignores her. She gets angry when he returns and treats her coldly. She warns him that if he treats girls like that, they will think he is arrogant, but he wakes up and tells her, "No one matters to me in this world except you, because you are the most important person in my life." He gets closer to her and tells her that she is special because she caught his attention. She is the one who made him fall in love with her. Alice is happy with his words, throws her pride aside, and forgives him. She tells him that she also loves him. When it gets late, he goes down with her to take her home. He takes a taxi and photographs the car's license plate. He warns her that if anything happens to her, he will report it. Alice is happy that he is worried about her too, and thanks him. The next day, the final exam comes, and Alice's friend is able to answer because her lover has studied for her, so now she knows the answers. But Alice, who hasn't studied for a long time, doesn't know how to solve it. Because of this, she brings a bad grade, and when she returns home, she finds out her family has learned the result. Her mother talks to her and tells her that she is upset and wants her to travel to America like her brother. Alice apologizes and asks her mother to help her because she doesn't want to be away from her lover, Drake, and she feels it would be difficult for him. She threatens her mother that she will run away and leave her, and then her mother, afraid, will not let her travel. Alice is happy and hugs him. She loves him because, despite being her mother's husband, he is affectionate and treats her like his daughter. On the other hand, Alice gets a high score and repeatedly plays a prank on her lover, Drake. She tells him that she will have to go to a distant university, and she does this to test his love for her, but he refuses to abandon her and shows that he is willing to leave his university to come with her. She is surprised and confirms that he loves her. She shows him the university acceptance letter and is happy that they will be together. After that, Alice tries to apologize to her mother. She keeps crying and tells her that she did what she had to do. She explains that she is talented in medicine and cooking and asks her mother to give her a chance to study what she loves. Her mother is moved and feels sorry for her. She hugs her and tells her that she agrees. Alice is happy and thanks her. After that, Drake's father goes to him and congratulates him, happy for his successful son. He apologizes and asks him to come back home with him, but Drake refuses and treats him coldly. He gets angry at his father because of his words and tells him that he will not lose hope. They know that he will buy him a new car and gives him his key before saying goodbye and leaving. The next day, Young goes to say goodbye to his girlfriend and drops her off at the airport. He is upset because he will miss her, but she hugs him and promises to come back again. This time, she says, "I will stay with you because I know your worth." She asks him to take care of himself and keep her in mind. She leaves, crying. Alice goes to visit Drake, but she sees his university acceptance letter and is surprised that he is completely distant from her. She gets upset because she wanted to stay with him. She's afraid he'll break up with her, but he arrives and listens to her. He reassures her that he'll never forget her and hugs her. He makes her taste raisins, and Alice rejoices at his words. She promises him that she'll continue to love him. The next day, they go to school and attend the graduation party. They take pictures with their classmates, happy and excited, and agree to stay friends forever. Days pass, and we learn that Alice has traveled to America with her family to visit her brother during a vacation in China. We see Drake studying for college, but he remembers his memories with Alice and feels that he misses her. He leaves the house and is surprised to find a beautiful girl waiting for him, wanting to get to know him. But he ignores her and acts coldly, telling her that he's engaged and loves his fiancée. He leaves her and walks away. After that, we see a handsome young man named John. He is Drake's cousin, but he is the opposite of him in every way because he doesn't like studying. This is because his father always looks down on him and compares him to Drake. But John doesn't care about what his father says. He decides to study what he loves and applies to the College of Arts. There, he meets Alice and remembers seeing her at a party, impressed by her beauty. He wants to talk to her. He decides to take advantage of the opportunity, gets to know her, and asks for her number to send her schedule. Alice is happy and thanks him, asking for his name but feeling nervous. She refuses to hear that he is Drake's cousin. He keeps staring at her as she walks, clearly impressed by her, and it seems that he is planning something. The next day, the first day of school begins. Drake goes to drop Alice off, but she is nervous because she doesn't know anyone. She refuses to let him in and clings to him. Drake tries to reassure her and asks her to trust herself. Encouraged by his words, Alice decides to prove to him that she is strong and bids him farewell. She walks inside, excited but anxious, seeing groups of students walking together. She feels lonely because she doesn't know anyone to talk to. Suddenly, John appears and offers to walk with her. She feels embarrassed, but is forced to agree. They talk, and she feels like she has seen him before. "Where do I know you from?" she wonders, but he refuses to reveal that he was at the party. Meanwhile, Drake is at university. As usual, all the girls are impressed by him from day one because he is handsome and smart. Some girls stick close to him and follow him around. Unfortunately, Alice stumbles and falls on the stairs. Her legs hurt badly, and Drake is forced to carry her to the clinic. Alice sees them and suspects something is going on between Drake and the girl. She quickly sends a message to Alice, warning her, "Come on, your boyfriend is cheating on you." Of course, Alice knows this isn't true. Meanwhile, Drake takes the girl to the clinic, but she realizes that his attention is wrong and thinks he likes Alice instead. Later, Alice grows tired from walking and goes to buy water. She accidentally bumps into a girl and tries to apologize. The girl turns out to be a bully. Determined to take revenge, Alice throws coffee on her clothes, warning her that if she gets close again, she'll regret it. The bully laughs with her friends as Alice walks away, feeling lonely and wishing her friends were there to defend her. She keeps crying. John sees her and comes to check on her. He gently wipes her face with a tissue and offers to help her, but she is afraid to return home in such a state. She worries that if her mother sees her like this, she would scold her and perhaps prevent her from going to university or traveling to America. Seeing her fear, John decides to help her. He takes her shopping to buy new clothes and surprises her with a motorcycle. She is excited but scared. John reassures her that he will protect her and helps her put on a helmet. Just then, a rooster sees them and is surprised to see who is riding behind John. His cousin calls out to her, but she doesn't hear him. John speeds away, and Alice is terrified. "Come on, let's go!" he shouts recklessly, almost causing an accident. When they finally reach the mall, Alice jumps off the motorcycle, terrified, and collapses on the ground, grateful to be alive. She hits him lightly for being reckless. She walks off to buy clothes, and John follows to pay for her. He is surprised by how beautiful she looks in the dress and keeps staring at her. Before leaving, he asks her to ride with him again. After that, Alice tells John, whoever doesn't see through a sieve is blind. She stops a taxi, and John opens the door for her. He takes care of her, and Alice is happy. She thanks him for his help, bids him farewell, and leaves. However, she soon sees a message from her friend claiming that Drake is cheating on her. Surprised and worried, she decides to check for herself. She goes to Drake's university and searches for him until she finally finds him. She calls out loudly, drawing the attention of other girls who become jealous of their relationship. Alice is convinced that Drake is being unfairly accused because he is standing alone. She apologizes to him, but is shocked by how coldly he treats her. She realizes that he saw her with John and suddenly remembers she has a lecture starting. She runs to catch up, and luckily, she arrives on time. In class, the teacher gives them a cooking test. Alice focuses and works hard to succeed. She must make sweets that are not only tasty, but also visually appealing. In the end, she achieves the highest rating. Alice is thrilled. This feels like her first real step toward achieving her dream. At the end of the day, Drake is waiting for her. She rides with him and excitedly tells him what happened. He takes her to his apartment so they can eat together. However, as they leave, they encounter the spoiled girl waiting outside the door, tearfully telling him that she misses him. At that moment, Alice realizes her friend's warning might have been true. She feels a pang of fear, thinking that Drake might be getting too close to someone else. Alice says to her, "Who are you?" But before she can reply, the girl suddenly falls down. Drake catches her before she hits the ground and takes her into the house. Seeing this, Alice becomes angry, storms out, and goes downstairs. As she walks away upset, she runs into John, who is sitting at a coffee shop. He calls out to her, and she goes to sit with him. She tells him, "I'm going." He asks, "Why are you alone in the middle of the night?" Alice hesitates for a moment, but since it's late, she agrees to let him accompany her. John, however, is determined to use all his charm to win her heart. When Alice arrives back at the house, she finds Drake waiting for her. Angry, he says to her, "Who gave you permission to leave the apartment and go out alone?" She fires back, "This comes from someone who works as a masseuse for the teacher?" "Really?" Drake smirks and replies, "Is the pretty girl jealous or what?" She asks angrily, "Who is this local girl?" When she sees him laughing, Alice shouts, "Leave me alone! I can't stand to see you right now." But Drake refuses to leave her. He tells her, "I don't like justifying myself too much, and I don't need to. You should already understand." When she says nothing, he steps closer and tells her, "You are my love." She means nothing to me at all. Even though he's trying to reassure her, Alice feels confused, like something inside her doesn't believe him. But then he gently kisses her forehead and hugs her, whispering, "I'm sorry, I tried to be a gentleman, but I can't help myself. I'll repeat it again. I love you." Hearing this, Alice softens and replies, "Drake, my love, you are the last man who could ever fail to be a gentleman to me." The next day, Drake decides to take Alice on a date. They have lunch together, and then go to the amusement park, wanting to make her happy, even though he barely has 2 pounds left in his pocket. Still, he's excited, because for him, the happiest thing in the world is simply being with her. The next day, Alice finds John visiting her at home. She remembers that he had called her yesterday and asked her to stay for an hour. Her polite reply was that he had already called her twice, inviting her to go with him to an exhibition. Although Alice felt a little worried, she noticed he was getting closer to her. Even though she had told him that she was already in a relationship, she thought, "It's just an exhibition. Nothing will happen." But as she was leaving the museum, she suddenly saw Drake walking in the street with another girl clinging to him, even hugging him openly. He remained completely silent, and at that moment, Alice felt like her heart stopped. Tears welled up in her eyes, and John quickly took her to a quiet place where she could sit and cry until she calmed down. John told her gently, "If you want to confide in me, I'll listen." Alice sighed deeply and said, "Yes, but it feels so ridiculous. I'm really hurt. Why is he acting like such an animal? He doesn't even believe me, and I'm the one in this relationship. I feel like I have the right to go to him, yell, and ask, but something keeps holding me back, as if it's not even my right." John didn't know what else to do, so he tried to make her laugh, but deep down, he was furious at Drake for not appreciating her. He wished only to see her happy. The next day, the real disaster happened. When Alice went to Drake's house to see him, she hid after spotting him coming out of a room with that same girl. That was it. She knew she had had enough. She couldn't tolerate it anymore and had to leave him. After that, Alice began spending more time with John at university. He tried his best to cheer her up, help her love college life, and often took her for walks to lift her spirits. One day, while walking together, one of John's friends called him by his real last name, the one he had been hiding. Alice looked at him suspiciously and asked, "You told me your last name was something else. Why did he call you that?" John hesitated, then admitted honestly, "I was afraid to tell you, But the truth is, Drake is my cousin. Alice was stunned. She muttered in disbelief. But John quickly continued. Listen, I'm not like him. I'll always stand by you, even if my cousin is against me. Alice just told him, it's better if you stick to what you're saying. Later that night, Alice met her college friends and spent time with them until evening. She then got a call. It turned out Drake was at the amusement park. She went to sit with him, trying her best not to cry. She finally told him, it's okay if you don't want me. I'm tired of this. We're no longer in high school. Please just say it, and let's end this. Give me some peace of mind. Drake looked at her, surprised. I'm sorry. I didn't know you felt this way. But Alice shook her head. It's not about you not knowing. It's about you not even caring to know. Please, let's break up. Drake grew upset and walked away, saying firmly, I won't break up with you. Later, when Alice tried calling him, another girl answered the phone instead. Mockingly, she told her, this is Drake. He's sleeping right now, and I won't wake him up just because of you, sweetheart. Alice froze, realizing she couldn't even defend herself anymore. She told herself bitterly, that's it. He's had his way with me. Enough. She turned inward, reflecting on herself, her choices, and the world around her, even while countless men at the university kept staring at her. The day Drake goes to Alice's university, he finds her standing and arguing with his cousin. His uncle also comes to greet her, and it looks like she's standing there setting a date for the wedding. He says to her, come with me, and pulls her by the hand without looking at anyone. She says, leave it. My hand hurts. What is this barbarism? He replies, sorry, but why are you standing with him? Or should I ask why? It's clearly, she says, you're a coward. You accuse me of cheating on you. He says, and you want me to understand what else? She laughs bitterly. Oh, funny day. I really can't control my laughter right now. You're crazy. There's something wrong with you. Tell me, why were you with that girl? He says, I was busy. I didn't do anything. She answers, busy? You couldn't even ask about me for 5 minutes. He pleads, don't do this to us. Trust me for a while. She says, it's hard. Believe me, it's hard to trust you. Every time I stay quiet and endure it, you hurt me more. You keep throwing me away and don't ask about me. Weeks go by and I'm done. You don't even look at me. Do you even miss me after leaving me for so long? He says, come on, let's go to my house. Let's talk. Don't argue on the street. She lets him into her car and says, finally, after all the words I said, you drag me like an animal. He tries to fasten her seatbelt and kisses her on the cheek to calm her down a bit. But Alice keeps saying to herself, get a grip on yourself. Don't let your situation shake you. He takes her to his family's house because they were having a party there and even brings her some clothes to change into. After the party ends, they sit together in the garden in silence. She is still upset with him and can't stand him, but she wants to stay by his side. He holds her tightly, not wanting her to leave him at all. He says to her, after my father got married, I hated everything and didn't believe in true love until you stormed into my life and made me love you. At that time, I felt a strange, different feeling. I was very afraid of falling in love with you. I know I upset you a lot without meaning to, but I'm trying to change, trying to alter my nature, though I don't know how. There's no one but you in my heart. Believe me, don't leave me, for my sake. She answers, where was this talk all along, brother? Do I know how to read minds, or can I read yours? Trust me, open your heart to me, even just a little, so I can be reassured that you feel for me as I feel for you. Speak, say even a couple of sentences, instead of keeping silent all the time. He replies, okay, my lady, I promise you that I won't remain silent anymore. I'll try to speak more. After that night, Alice starts avoiding John as much as she can at university because she wants to improve her relationship with Drake and not let anyone interfere between them. But it's very difficult because John keeps looking for her, and she doesn't know many others at university. Still, John is respectful and kind. He doesn't get close to her when he senses her pulling away, but one day he follows her, puts a necklace around her neck, and says, happy birthday, be well. Then he leaves and walks away. Alice feels terribly guilty. She's upset because she misses their talks together, and the way he used to joke with her, making the university days feel lighter. And then comes Alice's 18th birthday. Her family was having a big celebration because she had reached the legal age and was now officially a young lady. They held a big outdoor party with her friends, everyone enjoying themselves. But when she looked for Drake, he wasn't there. She waited for him outside, hoping he would come, but fear took over when she realized he was still driving away in his car. She sat down and whispered, please, my birthday is the most important day for me. It really matters. She called him, and he finally stopped the car and answered. He told her, I'm sorry, I didn't want to disappoint you, but I have to keep going. She broke down crying, realizing how foolish she was for giving him yet another chance. In her pain, she ended up calling John. He was already nearby, wearing his suit, and when he saw her number, he answered. Hearing her tears broke his heart. He told her, "If you want me to come now, I'll take it as a sign that you're willing to give us a chance. Think carefully." But she didn't respond. He closed the call, hurt and disappointed, but her voice lingered in his heart. Meanwhile, Alice remained sitting alone, crying on her own birthday. Eventually, she returned to the hall. As she walked inside, she almost stumbled, but John caught her. She looked at him with teary eyes and said, "Sorry I called and lost control like that." He looked at her firmly and said, "This is the 5th time I've seen you hurt because of Drake. Do you know what that means? It means I can't stop until you leave him. You don't deserve this pain." After the party ended, John led her to the back of the hall. He told her, "Drake asked me to bring you here. He wants you to walk among the candles until you reach him. Whatever your decision, I'll wait for you upstairs. I respect you." Alice walked slowly until she reached the decorated path. Drake appeared behind her and hugged her tightly, but she had already closed her heart to him. She pushed him away, her voice shaking with anger and pain. "Enough! I don't want excuses anymore. Every time you hurt me because you know I love you, but cursed is the kind of love that only breaks me down. It's over. There's nothing left between us, and I don't want to see you, even by accident." She stormed away and found John waiting, crying. She leaned on his shoulder, and he walked away with her. Drake stood frozen like a statue, speechless. He realized how much of a fool he was, how many times he had let her down. No matter what excuses he tried to come up with, Alice's eyes told him everything. She was truly done. The next day at university, Alice sat with John when another girl walked up. She smiled at John and said, "How are you? It's been so long since I last saw you." Then she turned to Alice, pretending not to notice her at first, and added mockingly, "Oh, you're here. Sorry, I didn't see you. I heard you and your boyfriend broke up. Poor thing." Alice stayed quiet, hiding her face, but John defended her immediately. "You can't just come here and provoke me like that. You just got out of the hospital. Go rest, instead of trying to provoke people." Later that day, Alice's father and her stepmother surprised her with a gift. They had bought her an apartment near the university so she could live independently. She was overjoyed, but fate had another twist. Her new apartment turned out to be in the same building, on the very same floor, as Drake's. She thought he didn't know, but as she entered her new place, he stepped out and saw her. The next day, as Alice tried to leave her house, she muttered to herself, "Give me a moment to get out before he sees me." She opened the door and was surprised to find Drake standing there. "Good morning. How about we go downstairs for breakfast?" he said. Alice snapped, "Aren't you stupid? We broke up a week ago." If I fell on your head before she could finish, she noticed John and Drake's cousin arriving to join her for breakfast. Surprisingly, Drake didn't get angry. He approached Alice, kissed her on the head, and whispered, "I missed you so much. I have to leave soon, but we'll meet for dinner. We need to talk." Alice muttered to herself, "Stay strong, Drake. Don't give in so easily." Late that night, she found Drake waiting in front of her apartment. "I've been standing here for 7 hours, he said. He entered his apartment without another word, leaving Alice frustrated. "I forgot to talk about this dinner. He doesn't just leave. I won't go to him. Let him wait," she thought. Soon after, Drake appeared at her door again. "I won't leave you alone. You hate me, but let me make peace with you," he said, pulling her toward his car. "Where are we going with this rush?" Alice asked, flustered. "We're not going back yet. We're going to buy things to cook," Drake replied. On their way back to her apartment, Alice tripped over a bag. Drake fell on top of her while trying to catch her. He noticed her embarrassed reaction and whispered, "I know we can succeed together. Don't worry." Inside, as they prepared dinner, Drake tried several times to make Alice forgive him and reconcile. "Do you still love me? Or have your feelings gone to someone else?" he asked. Alice shook her head. "Your cousin and I are just friends. You don't need to hear an explanation, but my feelings for you aren't the same as before. I'm hurt, so don't bring this up again." The next day, after college, John took Alice to a cafe. There, they unexpectedly saw Drake and some of his friends approaching. Despite the awkwardness, one of Drake's friends invited Alice and John to a barbecue party at their house. Unsure why she agreed, Alice went along, and John stayed close to keep her company. At the party, after changing clothes, John led Alice to the pool to cheer her up. Drake, watching from afar, grew increasingly frustrated. Seizing a moment when John was distracted, he pulled Alice aside. "Stay away from me! What are you doing?" Alice shouted. Drake held her against the wall. "I'm going to kiss you. Push me away if you don't feel anything for me," he said. Suddenly, a call from a friend startled him, and he led Alice to the garden, away from the crowd, giving them both a moment of privacy. When they sat together, he said to her, "Your brother kept sending me insults until I was driving him crazy. She threw his phone at him and said, "I will call him, with your permission." When she tried to get up, she found him holding her legs and crying. She said, "Give me some space. What are you doing?" He said, "Pull me up for my sake. Don't leave me." She said, "Have mercy on me and set me free. What else do you want to do?" But he kept crying and refused to let go of her leg. When she sat up instead of falling, he hugged her and said, "For my sake, don't leave me." She said, "You and the warthog have become as sweet as honey. What do you want from me?" He approached her, kissed her, and said, "I can't live without you." She told him, "I'm not ready to come back to you and feel hurt again. I'm leaving." Of course, John saw them together and got very upset. He realized that no matter what he did, she would continue to love our son and return to him. So he respectfully decided to cut off all ties with Alice and told her, "I know that no matter what I do, you will never love me." After college, Alice's mother went home with plane tickets to America because she had decided to stay away from everything and go study abroad with her brother. The next day, she woke up to find our son in her apartment, preparing breakfast for her. He also knew the password to the apartment, making it look like his own apartment. He pulled her to sit next to him and said, "I will do everything I can to make you forgive me. This girl, we are friends. Since we were young, I felt responsible for her." When she got tired, she said, "Come on, finish breakfast, because I want to take you. I've introduced you to someone." She ate, got dressed, and found him taking her in his car to a place she didn't know until she found herself at her mother's grave. He said, "I brought you here. I've always loved pretty girls, but I loved her." She said, "Take your time." She walked away, and he laughed and said, "Wait, I'm just kidding with my mom. Call her Mama." She said, "Why? We got married and she became my mother-in-law." He said, "Wait, when you turn 28, I'll propose to you." She said, "Why my brother? Should I wait 10 years? I'll stay by your side." He said, "If you want us to have a mischievous time as married couples, wait until you're 21, and I'll have my eye on you." She said, "I'll rip you apart. Respect yourself. We're in the cemetery." She said to him, "Can you tell me the truth and not lie? What happened to you on my birthday?" He said, "Even though this is a story I shouldn't tell you." "Okay, to ease your heart, my childhood friend." She said to him, "The warlock?" And he said, "Yes, the warlock, my sister, needed me. This is something I shouldn't say because it's private. She has a tendency to hurt herself and has tried to end it several times. I don't know the reason. Honestly, her family loves her and gives her everything she needs, but she suffers from severe depression." She told him, "That's why she wears bracelets and a lot of watches, because she hurts herself." He said, "Yes. On your birthday, I got a call saying she was thrown in the bathroom. One day, I saw her at my place, and she hugged me. I know your thoughts are dirty, but you're right. But that day, I broke down her bathroom door and brought her to me because she came to me. She's crazy, but she's been my friend since we were little. My heart wouldn't let her go, and I couldn't tell you what was wrong with her because she hates anyone knowing about her." He pulled a chain out of his pocket and put it on her. The next day, Alice went to university. She tried to make up with John. When he broke up with her a little and talked, she found out that he was going to travel abroad to study John. She got really upset because she felt, even a little, that she was the reason he was going to travel and be far away. She also befriended our son, the warlock. She decided to travel so she wouldn't be a burden on him. She let him live his life and be with our daughter. When he arrived to travel, she ran back to Alice's house. He didn't find her there. He found her tickets and travel papers and thought she had left him and traveled. When he called her, she told him, "I found him on the rooftop." He told her, "John has traveled, and so has my friend. Who can stand her? Just wait a second. Why are you at home? You have travel tickets." She said to him, "I have to complete my studies there. Will you be able to put up with me until I return?" He said to her, "What a disaster. I sent them all to New York, and the weather in the Philippines made us love each other. We'll take it easy. Will you travel after them, or should I throw myself off the roof?" She said to him, "So you won't be able to?" He said to her, "I will decide." She said to him, "You were planning to propose to me when I was 28. Will you be able to put up with all this time?" He said to her, "By your life, in the coming days, I won't find anyone better than you to spend this boring life with." She said to him, "Trust me, if it weren't for my mother's insistence, I wouldn't have gone. But, out of my good intentions, I brought us 2 rings. They look a bit silly, but keep them on your hand so no one can come after you while I'm traveling." He said to her, "That's acceptable from you, my sister, but as long as you're traveling in 2 days, I'll keep kissing you to make up for the lost years. What I'm going to miss from now on." And thus, the series ends. I hope that if you have reached the end, you will subscribe to the channel and support us with a like. You can also check out other series that you might enjoy. We have many beautiful ones, and I can recommend the best for you, dear viewer. Thank you and peace.